all and welcome back to my channel Abantika's Astro Help. Hope you're all doing great. And finally, what a big sign of relief since Venus is moving to the sign of Libra just after a couple of days. For the past few days, Venus has been in the sign of Virgo, and I'm sure a lot of people must have gone through individual problems around the areas of Venus in their own respective ways, depending on the placement of planet Venus in their charts and also as per ascendant and Rashi, whichever house it has gone to. See, whenever Venus is in the sign of Virgo, it always faces trouble when it comes to offering its true element to native, true quality to native, because Venus is a planet of enjoyment, leisure, pleasure. It rules our romantic life, love life. It rules creativity, arts, entertainment. Virgo represents clashes, conflicts, troubles, physical discomfort, mental discomfort. It rules people who can cause us some harm. Like our enemies and all. It also rules diseases. So somewhere when Venus will go to the sign which is so much opposite, so it will become helpless to offer you some good and positive effect. And which is why whenever Venus, as per the transit, goes to the sign of Virgo, it it starts. We tend to spot problems in our love life, romantic associations and married life, and that natural peace, that natural positivity also gets affected because Venus represents a positive temper. So when Venus will become debilitated, naturally people can feel that that anxiety can take over, and you can stress too much, you can overthink too much, you can keep on creating negative scenarios in your head. So all sorts of these things happen. So anyways, now it's just few days left and Venus will finally move in its own sign, and wherein it feels very comfortable because Venus now is in a position to offer balance, offer positivity, and also offer its true element. So whoever is running the period of Venus or any adjoining periods, like any planets which are in conjunction with planet Venus, if you are running their dashas, or if you are running dasha of rulers of those houses which are naturally owned and represented by planet Venus, like 2nd and 7th house, so even around or maybe 12th house and all, so even around these people will also get to gather effects of this transit. So without wasting any more time, let's get started with Aries Ascendant, that what are going to be the effects for you when Venus will move to the sign of Libra. For Aries Ascendant, Venus will move to your 7th house, and 7th house represents collaborations, associations, your life partner, married life, everything like that. And for Aries Ascendant, Venus rules 2nd and 7th house. So what I get to see is that through your speech and through the correct choice of words, you would want to work out your associations, whether it is your personal life, whether it is your professional life. If your relationship had been failing with your partner in recent times and you have not been able to work it out well, so somewhere you would be wanting to work things out with your partner, and you will have a better approach to make things better in your personal life. So somewhere you would actually want to work things out with your partner, and you will have a positive approach. It's like sometimes that we are wanting to work things out with our partner, but still we cannot free ourselves of some blame game, and so it's more like that, okay, I want to resolve things between us, but still I am more I get trapped very soon in negativity. It's like wanting to work things out but failing to work things out because somewhere I am lacking that positivity. So with Venus moving in Libra in the 7th house, I'm sure people with Aries Ascendant, they will now have a better approach, and they will have a more positive element when it comes to making things better in their personal life. And people who are looking for some collaborations or partnerships, even they will have a good time, because they would be able to get some like-minded people who are good for their work, business, and if they are, you know, wanting some sort of help, because collaborations and partnerships mean some sort of help that, you know, you people can expand further. So I think that you would be able, if you are looking in that direction and looking forward to that direction, then I'm sure you would be able to come across some like-minded people with whom you can look for some sort of partnership. Now moving to another sign, Taurus. For Taurus ascendant, Venus will move to the 6th house, and 6th house, which is a house of conflicts, troubles, and, you know, enemies, diseases, you all must be knowing. So when Venus will move to the 6th house, this time, you know, you can have a very subtle approach to overcome your competition, to overcome your trouble. You can have a very diplomatic approach as well, because Venus is your ascendant lord, and when it moves to 6th house, which means that for your own favors and benefits, you will carry a very subtle and a diplomatic and beautiful approach. Instead of going aggressive, instead of going, you know, pushy or something, you will be balanced, and you will be patient when it comes to collecting results. And as I said, that you will have a very diplomatic approach. So it's more like that you will carry that essence of Libra within you, now when you are trying to overcome your competition, now when you are trying to hit some goal, now when you are trying to you know, deal with the problems in your work life, or maybe with the people you get to interact with on a daily basis. And also, since Venus is your ruling planet, so somewhere it will also try to give you some extra edge over your enemies, or over your as I mentioned, you know, competitors. So you can expect, like, you know, people who are looking to change jobs and all, and people who are you know, preparing for some competitions and all. So if your examination is falling you know, during this period, or maybe if you are wanting to apply for a better job and all, then you can definitely be a little hopeful than before. Now moving to another sign, Gemini. For Gemini ascendant, Venus will move in your 5th house, and Venus rules your 12th as well as 5th house. So let's say if Gemini ascendant people failed to, you know, retain their relationships, or maybe they somehow they were failing to overcome some sort of trouble in their love life or anything. So I think for Gemini ascendant, this time is going to be a lot better when it comes to your love life, when it comes to forming new associations, forming new romantic associations. You can definitely, you know, start, if you're looking forward to dating and all, I think this is the right time. You should go ahead with dating, and you can look for the prospects. In fact, you can come across the right prospects also. So I think this time will help you to open up yourself, because a lot of times what happens, let's say we went through a heartbreak, or, you know, so sometimes we are clogged, emotionally clogged, we are unable to open up ourselves, we are, you know, we are not so receptive. So if you have been feeling that way, so this time will help you to open up, and you will feel like you know, forming a new love association, romantic association. You would want to experience the element of Venus in your love life. So I think that you should go out and check out your prospects, and if you already have if you have already started dating someone, then I'm sure you can look forward to some sort of, you know, relationship coming your way with that person. So I think this is going to be a little good, light-hearted time for you. Now moving to another sign, Cancer ascendant. For Cancer ascendant, Venus will move to your 4th house, and Venus also rules your 11th house of gains. So when ruler of gains will move to your 4th house, it somewhere means that fulfillment of gains can happen. So I think that you should be more ambitious, and you should be you know, like trying a little harder when it comes to collecting better benefits. And this can also be for the people, like, you know, who look for some contract and who look for some contractual work, so they can end up winning over those contracts when it comes to, you know, fighting off the competition. And through better gains and income, you would also want to expand your living comfort. You can end up buying a vehicle if you are thinking in that way. If you are, you know, willing to buy a house or something, and if you are already running Venus Dasha, so you might end up buying a property. And if not anything, then of course you will want to organize your space, you would want to beautify your space, so it is going to be that. And also you will you can form new associations, because Venus in the 4th house in the sign of Libra somewhere ensures pleasure. If you don't know that, it definitely ensures some sort of, you know, pleasure, and it also denotes that kind of pleasure which we like, you know. It's not a very short thingy, it's not very short lived, it is something that keeps going for some time, and it kind of makes us feel happy. So because 4th house is a house of domestic happiness, so when Venus will move in the sign of Libra, some happiness will come your way in a very balanced way, and which will go on for a while. Now, you know, whether it lasts forever or not, that is something will always be seen from your by studying your whole chart, but it is something which will keep going for a while, and you will feel happy, maybe with the intervention of that person or that particular aspect, which can make you feel a little happier and little contented. Now moving to another sign, Leo. For Leo ascendant, Venus will move to your 3rd house, and Venus also rules your 10th house. So now when the ruler of 10th house will move to your 3rd house, it means that somehow your efforts in your professional for your professional life will intensify. For your career things, it will intensify. So if you haven't been able to work things out in that space, so here your efforts will, you know, you can probably work out more, and you can pay more attention. And your efforts, as I said, it will be very extensive efforts, I see. And also for the people who are willing to market their work and wanting to publicize their business and all, so for them also it is going to be a good time, because 10th house ruler moving to 3rd, it also represents that, you know, now you are wanting that everyone should know your work. You want to communicate your work. So I think this is going to be a very good time if you are wanting to start some YouTube channel, if you are wanting to you know, go for some social media marketing, because 3rd house definitely ruled by Gemini represents daily communication, and it rules all sorts of channels of communication, digital media and everything. So if you are wanting to market your work, this can be a very good time for you. And as I said, that your efforts will be enlarged in this period, so you should put more effort in your career, because it's a house of courage. So it's like you are, you know, if you haven't been able to feel this way, that okay, I would be able to do this, if you have been wanting to do something around your professional life but you haven't been able to do that, like if you have been wanting to add some skills and, you know, you want some value addition, so I think this is the right time to pick up on new skills. You can learn well, you can brush up, or, you know, you can, I mean, you can at least try. So it is a good time to you know, pick on some new skill during this time. Now moving to another ascendant, which is Virgo. For Virgo ascendant, your Venus will move in the 2nd house, and which also rules your 9th house. So Venus will move to your 2nd house, which is also a house of family, speech, wealth and much more. So what can happen is that it can firstly make you little wise with your finances, because Libra is a sign of balance. So it will definitely ensure some, you know, money management. you might want to invest, and you might want to invest in some scheme, or you might take a help of some professional in helping you to understand and manage your money well. So I think this is a good time for that, for those activities. And also I see people who are working in religious and spiritual dimensions. For them it can be a good time to kickstart things, because 9th house ruler going in the 2nd house ensures that through religious and spiritual activities you are able to generate gains. So even if your agenda is not really to gain out of it, but still, or to earn out of it, but you can kickstart, because whenever the money factor is attached to anything that you do, this somewhere means that you can have a very active participation in those aspects. So people who are working in a spiritual and religious space, they can kickstart with those jobs. And if you have been wanting to work as a maybe healer, or wanting to work as a pandit, or anyone as an astrologer, or and also your guidance is going to be very valuable to someone during this time, because Venus moving in the 2nd house in the sign of Libra, it definitely ensures that with your wise speech you would be able to help people out, because Libra is all about balance, and it's a very diplomatic sign also. So your advice can come out as very rational. It can help people to look at the rational side of life. So you can, as I said, your advice can prove to be very valuable and very useful for someone. Well, now moving to Libra Ascendant. For Libra Ascendant, Venus will move in the 1st house, which also rules the 8th house of birth chart. When the 8th house ruler will move in the 1st house, it can give some health issues to some extent. So Libra Ascendant people should be little careful during this time. And yes, I do see some sort of new knowledge coming in your horizon. It's more like that wherein you can follow more people to enhance your knowledge in the area of occult, astrology, and some secret sciences, unknown subjects. So I do see the flow of knowledge coming from different people, coming from different associations. So if you want to follow, or you want to seek experts help, or you want to go for some sort of collaboration for the exchange of knowledge, I think this is going to be the best time for you. And Libra Ascendant people would also be able to ensure some sort of balance in their own growth. So if they have been willing to when it comes to physical factors, or maybe when it comes to internal factors, like if you are willing to work on your inner growth, this can be a good time. If you are willing to go for a makeover, groom yourself, and beautify yourself, even you can take interest in that manner also. So Libra Ascendant people can become a little conscious around their own growth, and they would want to try new things, and they will become very serious when it comes to growing their personality. It can also be a good time if you are wanting to join some personality development course or something, or if you are wanting to learn some new creative skill. So this is going to be the it's going to be a very good time for you. And as I said, that people who are attached with this occult, astrology, and some secret sciences domain, so they can they can adopt a very fine and a balanced approach to work to work around these lines. It's like, let's say someone is willing to do some sort of siddhi, but they are failing to follow a good discipline, and they are not able to invest that much of time. So this can be a good time for the ones who are working in these spaces and are wanting some sort of balance and organized way to develop these things. So I think you all got my message. Now moving to another sign, Scorpio Ascendant. For you, Venus will go in your 12th house, which is a house of pleasure, and for you Venus also rules your 7th house. So 7th house owner moving in the 12th house, it can also represent some sort of travel in some other location which is related to your occupational gains, because 7th house is also a house of occupation, and somewhere you guys will want to travel to, you know, some different locations. Like you would want to go to some new locations, because Venus has this element of newness, freshness. So you would want to you know, go to some alien locations which you haven't discovered as of yet, and you can travel for your occupational purposes. And of course, not to mention, if you are seeking pleasure, if you are, you know, wanting to you are seeking some romantic association, you can definitely be hopeful around those lines also. You may come across someone who can give you some pleasurable experience, or with whom you can end up sharing some sort of romantic bond. Now moving to another sign, Sagittarius. For Sagittarius people, Venus rules your 11th house, and it also rules your 6th house. So 6th house ruler will move to your 11th house of gains, which means that when it comes to collecting benefits and gains, you would be able to overcome your competition, your competitors, and you will be able to overcome the troubles which you were experiencing before when it comes to collecting gains. But only if Venus is well placed in your chart. If it is not well placed in your chart, then somewhere you may face some sort of troubles from your competitors, especially if your competitors are as a female, or from female associations. I do see some sort of tension which can come, especially if you are trying to form some sort of personal bond with her. Why I say that? Because Venus becomes malefic for you guys. So when the sign, because it also rules your 6th house, and then 11th house is partially malefic. So when Venus becomes malefic and it rules to your 11th house, so somewhere that tension from female association can be experienced if Venus is not well placed in your chart. If it is well placed in your chart, then definitely female association can benefit you, and you can expect all sorts of personal gains, professional gains, and you would be able to clear your competition. You would be able to give defeat to your competitors. Now moving to another sign, Capricorn. For Capricorn Ascendant, Venus will move to your 10th house, and for Capricorn Ascendant, Venus also rules your 5th house. So when 5th house ruler will go to your 10th house, it will create a Raj Yoga, and whatever you are thinking in your mind, because 5th house rules your mindset, your creativity. So if you are thinking, you are planning things out, and you are wanting to start new things when it comes to your career, so you will get some edge, you will get a benefit, and you can definitely expect some good growth coming your way when it comes to your career. And for the people who are wanting to talk to their superiors for their growth, appraisal, promotion, anything, and if they have a well placed Venus in their chart and they're also running some dasha attached to it, they can definitely expect some sort of elevation or growth in their career. Now let's talk about Venus transit in Libra for Aquarius Ascendant. Well, for Aquarius Ascendant, Venus will move to your 9th house, which is also the ruler of your 4th house. Now whenever the ruler of 4th house moves to 9th house, it can always offer some sort of pilgrimage tour, some sort of long distance travel that is happening for higher purposes, higher motives, higher learning, because 4th house is a moksha trikona and 9th house is a house of dharma. It represents spiritual learning, higher learning, religious learning. So you can go far from your home to deep dive in, to gain some spiritual understanding about yourself, and you would want to enhance your learning in those aspects. So I do see this arrangement when Venus will move to the sign of Libra. Now let's quickly move to the last ascendant, which is Pisces Ascendant. For Pisces Ascendant people, Venus will move to your 8th house, which is also the ruler of your 3rd house. 3rd house ruler moving to 8th house can definitely ensure some sort of sudden gains, commercial gains, monetary gains. And what I get to see is that you may also want to create a joint wealth with your partner, because 8th house is a house of joint assets and joint wealth, that you have and share with your partner. And Libra, that falls in the 7th house of Kalpurush chart, which represents everything related to marriage. So you may want to create some joint account, or maybe wealth, or asset with your partner. And those who are willing to do some Devi Puja, Devi Siddhi, and who are into occult practices and all, who are bowing themselves to Shakti. So I think this is a very good time for them, because what I get to see is that your courage and efforts are being engrossed around these areas, in these areas, around these activities. So whoever is interested in these aspects, they can also learn and enhance their practices. So this was all about the transit of planet Venus in Libra from my side. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit like. Very soon I'll return with a new topic. Please take good care of yourself.